Hi, everybody. This is Father Michael, still working on our collaboration within the Oasis. A couple of updates that I wanted to give you from our last meeting, which was the 26th of October. The first thing is I did ask St. Barnabas, given the situation of their staff changes and things like that, if they would need any collaboration help, that we would be willing to help them out. But I'm not going to put that within the construct of my doctorate of ministry paper, which hopefully they don't feel like we don't want to help them in some way. I am certainly open to doing that, but I didn't want to have to make them come to these meetings and set it within these parameters. When we got together on the 26th, there was seven of us together, so not very many of us were able to make it. What we wanted to talk about were what were the obstacles that we had noticed with regard to collaboration, not in the present context, but historically. And some of that we might have speculated, this might be the case for some people. Some of it we might have experienced personally, or some of it we might have heard from people as being obstacles. In general, I think the biggest obstacle was just an unawareness of what was going on in the neighboring parishes and who the primary contact people were. We're certainly able to go onto the internet and see each other's websites, but it doesn't always have the information about who the contact person is. And that, of course, would just be a basic saying, they're doing this, rather than saying, how can we work together? Another problem is that sometimes people don't understand the word collaboration in the same way. Sometimes we think that collaboration means everybody else shuts down their ministry and I'll be the only one, centralizing the ministry. While that makes sense in certain contexts, for the most part, that's not what I mean. So in collaboration, I think there's lots of different models that we could be using. Could be just getting together for talking about best practices. It might be a chance for us to maybe rotate the speakers that are going on. Maybe it makes more sense for each of us to have the ministry, like RCIA or youth group, so that the participants are more connected to their home group, but also to coordinate with the neighboring parishes for an outing. Like if we're going to go visit the cathedral, maybe that could be done together. So just the ability to collaborate in a variety of different methods and being aware of what those methods might be. So knowing who's involved, what they're doing, and how collaboration could take place would really overcome a lot of what we saw as issues. Because this region during the Vibrant Parish Life initiative did not experience any closures and didn't have any mergers, there wasn't much fear about that, although there was kind of admitting that during that time period, it was kind of breaking out of our way of thinking. But everybody seemed to have a real genuine excitement about working together on some level and thought this is clearly the direction we're being asked to go from the side of the church, but also in the needs of the people, and that this is going to help us in the long run. So there was less of a concern about this being a detriment to the individual parishes. Obviously, there's always going to be some energy and time constraints. So we don't want to just keep adding more and more meetings to everybody. So we have to find ways in which this streamlines, and those who are directly involved, it would become an easier process not only to collaborate, but then to do the ministry. The ministry becomes more efficient, and it actually should free up some time. And so that would be of the best benefit. So trying to find ways to do that. We have so much in common with each other, much more similarities than differences. Sometimes there are differences in the ways that we respond to the requirements of the diocese, and that can sometimes create resentments. Like if one program's doing it slightly different than what the diocese had asked us to do, and the other one feels like, well, we follow the rule, and now people are going over to your church for skipping that rule. Overall, it does sometimes take time. When a new rule comes out, people apply it at a different rate, but eventually we all end up in the same place. We just have to be very patient and understanding of each other because that's always going to be the case. It's always going to be sometimes a slower process of unrolling the new rules. Things that came together that it thought would help us. It would be nice to have some reason for our pastoral staffs to get together so that they could know each other and just casually talk and bounce ideas off of each other, even if that was like a Christmas party or something like that. It would also, a really nice idea here is creating a prayer network among all the pastoral staffs. So if you got a relative who's in the hospital or something, we're all aware of that and able to pray for each other. And I have found in my dealings with all the different parishes that is definitely the case. There's always needs out there. The bigger your family, the more likely somebody needs prayers. And so that's a really good way to start forming more of a connection with each other. A great suggestion was, if your staff is going on a retreat day, why can't my staff cover your offices? Make sure that the phone calls and the people coming in is going into the right boxes so that you can take care of it when you get back. It frees you up so your entire staff can go on your retreat day. So not only can we say, well, we'll do things together, but maybe we can help each other so that you have the freedom to go and do what's best for your staff. I thought those were very, very good ideas. I think the environment of the parishioners themselves, as far as going to a neighboring parish, sometimes they really don't have an issue with that because they're personally invited. A friend of theirs is at the other parish and says, I'm going to this event, why don't you go with me? And most people don't have much of an issue there. But if they say, well, we want to go to this event and it's not available at my parish, and so you're asking me to go to another parish, sometimes people resist that. So part of the whole idea of collaboration is not to force that, not to make that happen, but to, in the cases where it is helpful, to make it available and not to make artificial collaboration opportunities. I'm not trying to frustrate the people. We really want to just make sure that they're being offered the best available ministries so that they can continue to grow in their journey of faith. So I think that's very good. We had a couple of examples of things that were already going on that were really good. Mission Mondays is a project going on between or among Our Lady of Guadalupe, Saints Cosmas and Damian, St. Rita's, and Resurrection. And we did it over the summer during June, Mondays of June. We took all of our teenagers out to do some service project in the mornings, and the late afternoon, evening, we did more of a retreat setting. It was very, very popular, very nice. Vacation Bible School, I understand that some of the parishes coordinate so that they don't do it the same week, but doing it 1 week apart from each other, they were also able to share materials. You know, you did it this week, and we borrow your materials for the next week when we have ours. And that's a great idea, just to coordinate the times so people have more options to go to, but then you can also share materials. And I heard about this great thing going on at St. Rita's, Polar Express. That's a great example of something centralized. They already have it well developed. It would just be a matter of promoting it in our own parishes to say, if this is something, you know, that age group would like to participate in, this is the date, and invite them over to St. Rita's where they already have it going on. So there's lots of ways to do the collaboration. There seems to be less obstacles than we originally thought as far as jealousies or intimidations or historically bad blood. All of those things seem to be really minimum compared to what was imagined in our minds. The biggest issue is, I'm not sure what they're doing over there. I'm not sure who the contact person is, and I wasn't aware of the different models of collaboration. So if we could start creating opportunities for us to get together, rub elbows, and bouncing off ideas, I am sure it's going to lead to some very creative synergy ideas and some normal things that we could do as far as sharing materials, speakers, presenters. I think that that's going to work out very naturally, and not to feel like we have to force collaboration in some way, just to say, if this isn't a good thing to collaborate on, or if this has got more complications, let it go. There's always something else we could be working on, and to just kind of have the freedom to say we don't have to force fit any of this. Well, I thank you so much. The next meeting that we're going to have is going to be in November. The next meeting is going to be about how do we start putting together a strategic pastoral plan. I want to let you know that I have also gone over to all of the parishes, and I have talked to your secretarial staff and got a listing of not only your ministries, but the contact persons. And given our conversations that we've had in the past, I'm going to try to get those heads of ministries to talk to each other to see if they can foresee natural collaboration options and how would they do that. I'll help put that together once we get to the strategic planning stage, and then the pastors will sign off on the things that they think that's good, let's do that. But they might look at it on their big scale, on the way that they're thinking of the direction of the parish. I don't want to do this right now. So we'll give the pastors the last say on that, because that's their role to see things on the big picture. And then once we decide that, yeah, these are areas, natural kind of collaboration opportunities that we have, then we give that to the heads of ministries and say, here's the plan. January, start looking for the chance to, if it's just the planning stage, it doesn't have to actually be doing the events yet, but in January actually like meeting and best practices and getting the schedules together and those kind of things. So I'm feeling like we're on track, we're heading the right direction, and I will try my very best to keep you in the loop. God bless you all.